Hi, my name is Simone and I'm the Zen Mommy. And guess what? We're going to do a Zen reading today. All right, so it's been a while since I did one, so I was just saging my deck really quickly. Maybe I didn't have to do this part on camera, but it looks nice, don't it? I love the sage smoke. All right, let's put that down for a second. And if you're watching this video, you probably saw my message back video. If you haven't seen my message video, I'm going to title it Message to Subscribers. If you haven't seen that video, you need to watch it. You really don't want every last one of my subscribers to watch it. And as for this, we were doing some Zen readings as there, and I was thinking it's been a while since I've done one. It's been a while since I've done one for myself. And for us, and since we're all connected, I know whatever I do for myself, it will relate, because it always has been so far. And so let's get this party started. All right, so I'm going to pull a card here. And whatever this message is going to be the message we need, right? All right, let's see. Better not be one I pulled before. All right, what is this? Patience. This is interesting. All right, let me look up what this means. But in this picture, the moon is going through phases. And there's a woman holding her belly. Pregnant woman. Holding her belly, surrounded by flowers. And, it's just beautiful. All right. So give me a second. I'm going to pause the camera for a second while I get the reading on this. All right. So here we go with this reading. There are times when the only thing to do is to wait. The seed has been planted. The child is growing in the womb. The oyster is coating the grain of sand and making it into a pearl. This card reminds us that now is the time when all that is required is to be simply alert, patient, and waiting. The woman pictured here is in just such an attitude. Content with no trace of anxiety. She is simply waiting. Through all the phases of the moon passing over her head, she remains patient. So in time with the rhythms of the moon, that she has almost become one with it. Let me read that part over again. Through all the phases of the moon passing over her head, she remains patient. So in tune with the rhythm of the moon that she becomes one with it. She knows it is a time to be passive, letting nature take its course. But she is neither sleepy nor indifferent. She knows it is time to be ready for something momentous. It is a time full of mystery, like the hours just before the dawn. It is a time when the only thing to do is wait. Okay. We have forgotten how to wait. It is almost an abandoned space, and it is our greatest treasure to be able to wait for the right moment. The whole existence waits for the right moment. Even the trees know it when it is time to bring flowers and when it is time to let go of all the leaves and stand naked against the sky. They are all still beautiful in the nakedness, waiting for the new foliage with great trust that the old has gone and the new will soon be coming. And the new leaves will start growing. We have forgotten to wait. We want everything in a hurry. It is a great loss to humanity. We want everything in a hurry. It is a great loss to humanity. In silence and waiting, something inside you goes on growing, your authentic being. And one day it jumps and becomes a flame, and your whole personality is shattered. You are a new man, and this new man knows what ceremony is this new man knows life's eternal juices. Okay, patience. I was thinking how this, reading may relate to me. Well, it'll relate to me in a lot of different ways. Sometimes I can be the most impatient person. Um, I think about like everything like I want to manifest, things that I know that will take time, or even with things that I'm working through, dealing with, or even with working on raising my vibration. I've been kind of impatient with those things. Like I always had, I always kind of, I can be patient at times, but I I can feel like when I want something to happen, it hasn't happened yet. I can feel the anxiety rising in me, and I notice that it happens a lot. Even if it's like something I want, let's just say like maybe I want to buy some equipment for my YouTube channel for my camera mic. There's some things, and I can't get everything I want at once. And oh, actually, I have an even better idea. Okay, so I have this online store, and I want to roll out all these new ideas and products I have, but I can only do so much because every product, everything is all these ingredients. And I got a lot of them, but I keep noticing when I want to make something, this is missing, that's missing. And if I was to buy it all at once, I just wouldn't be able to afford it all at once. And then I get frustrated that I can't get my store with all of these products going. And I tend to get really impatient about that. But I see this picture of this woman and how it said like how she's so patient, she's waiting with the phases of the moon. And I think about the trees. The trees get the bloom the flowers bloom in the spring, and they really got to wait all year to do that. And I don't know, how it feels for them, but I'm pretty sure, you know, doing ayahuasca, psychedelics, and mushrooms, I know that plants have energy and they have feelings. They definitely can feel. And so I would imagine like the process of fruiting or blooming would be a very I want to say an orgasmic experience, but I don't, that's not really the word I want. But imagine, feeling like you're at your height of feeling like uplifted and feeling good. And I would imagine that something like that is like the most amazing, like their debut when the flower blooms, right? So you have to imagine that plant energy gets a lot out of that. It blooms open, it absorbs in the sun, but the plant has to wait a whole year for that. Imagine if you had to wait a whole year to enjoy glory for a short amount of time. Would you be able to be patient about it? Um, and so I was thinking like stuff like that, like being patient about my YouTube channel, being patient about it growing, being patient about my knowledge and learning more. Like I know that I started this channel, I didn't know anything about spirituality, and I had to be patient for the knowledge I do have, and I still like don't have all the knowledge. Like I don't I have a lot to learn is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of people who are far advanced than me in knowing like the spiritual stuff, who's read up on a lot of books. A lot of my knowledge I got from ayahuasca. And, you know, I got to become patient. If I could be like the tree can be there in peace and happy, emanating love and joy and just being a natural part of life. Can we accept being patient? Can we accept allowing, the phases of the moon to pass, being one with it? What did this say? Let's see. In silence and waiting, something inside you go on growing, your authentic being. And one day it jumps and becomes a flame and your whole personality is shattered. So this is a very important line because during this ascension process, um, it can be very trying, because as you're trying to ascend, you're dealing with old versions of yourself. And when these old versions of yourself begin to manifest, it could bring you down. It could bring you in a battle with the ego, the subconscious. It could put you in a low vibration. And you will discover healing, and you'll just want to get to the point, when do I feel the joy and the peace and the enlightenment feeling, and the, you know, being patient about this. You have to understand, just like the phases of the moon, just like the tree. And I say this personally because I got a lot of issues that came up for me, and as I said in my last video, and I have to heal those issues. But healing is not an overnight thing. Healing is about releasing energy, facing old traumas. Healing is about coming in one with your own being. We got split off a lot, our consciousness, because of different things we went through. I did a video. It was about fractals. I'm just going to link it above because I can't think the name. But I talked about how we are a fractal of source, but also we fractal off. Say you went through something traumatic when you were a child. See, you start off as this whole being of love, but when you get hurt, you disconnect with a part of you, and that part fractals off. And so when I say come in one with your being, is we gotta heal and bring back the parts of us that got lost throughout these traumas and stuff. And it's easy to be like, oh, I don't want to go through this stuff. And people, they have those meetings with the spiritual awakening. The person is looking crazy, like, this is spiritual awakening, whatever. Because you're going through so much healing. And this is a part of a beautiful process. If you look at, like I said, the tree and the phases of the moon, you can get to the point where you're going through it, and it's like that diamond. The diamond was cold at first, but with an extreme amount of pressure, it turns into a beautiful diamond. See, this is our journey right here. We are turning into something beautiful, something that we already was before we came here. Now we're going back to our true selves. So when it says in silence and waiting, something inside you go growing, your authentic being, and one day it jumps and becomes a flame, and your personality is shattered. And I believe that that's the ego personality that the reason, that is the one that's hurting and suffering and holding you back. Like, we really have to be patient. I think that's what this message is saying. And so, like, for my first reading of 2020, whatever you're going through in your life, no matter what it is, like I shared on my last video, think about this reading. Think about the patience. Think about the support you have in nature around you. That tree outside your house, that is your example. That is your message. That is a positive energy standing right there that you can take from. You can take good energy from nature. And think about the full moon and the phases it goes through, and how that one night of the month that is just full, bright view, and she's at her fullest of energy. Okay, but yet she waits a whole month for that. So let's try to think about how we can become one with the cycles of the moon, and how we can phase in to the beauty that our soul has in store for us. Thank you for watching. Peace and love. Namaste.